Goals of the dissertation. We all now know that I'm an OG fan, and he's my role model, and Dr. Taylor and Mr. Songz are the examples. And I have great respect and honor for Dr. Taylor and Mr. Songz. The main element of this dissertation is that they make very beautiful music, and I'm very attached to their music. And they also showed us that we have to be honest. So it's gonna be rough. Okay? But that's only because I know what they can do and what they are capable of. I love Dr. Taylor. I love Mr. Songz. I love, and I'm doing this because I love. And I want them to be more legendary. And I want them to be billionaires. Okay? Okay. This is me. And this is the music. Me and the music used to be friends. We used to be friends. And then I got lost in a Strugg life sauce. And I lost the beauty of life. And I couldn't see or feel anything but the ugliness and hopelessness of Strugg life. And now I remember that there can be beautiful things in life, even in the Strugg life. And we can experience it. And I'm searching for those things. And I want to be friends with the music again. I want to be friends with the music again. But I'm failing to connect. I am failing to connect. And maybe it's just not meeting me. And we need to find out the reason for that. Because I really want to connect to the music again. And I want to be friends with the music again. So goal number 1 of the dissertation. To explore Mr. Songz and Dr. Taylor's musicality. Goal number 1. Okay. Goal number 2 of the dissertation. To figure out why I cannot connect to the music recently. Goal number 2. Goal number 3 of the dissertation. To figure out why the world is not hearing or requesting their exceptional musical abilities, but only I do. The concerning thing here on number 3 is, if the world can't see or hear their music, they can't buy from them. So I have to figure that out too. The way I listen to music. Like, people listen to music, but I feel music in my being. Like, let me just say, I have zero music background. I have zero music knowledge besides as a listener. And I know zero music terminology. I am just a listener, okay? So the way I listen to music, it enters my ears. And if it's pleasing to my ears, my mind grapples with it. And the first thing I tend to do is pay attention to the voice. Like, I'm trying to get a feel for the voice texture. Then it's lyrics, and I try to pick up the way the words are said, how words are used, the overall message and theme of the song, and if there's any words that are used that are new to me, or if words are used in a context that I've never heard before. And if it's beautiful enough, I listen with my soul, and it makes me feel beautiful inside. Then, my mind wants to create an image based on the voice texture. So how it works is that when I hear people sing, I tend to describe people's voices by food or drink textures because it enters my mind. It like goes over my brain if it's pleasing to me. And I also feel it in my fingers. Like, I see a picture in my mind of what their voice sounds like in food or drink form. I think it's because of texture that my mind translates their voices into texture and then projects an image of the texture of the food that the voice represents. Like, it happens mostly when I hear people sing. When people talk, I just categorize it as pleasant or unpleasant. And if your voice is unpleasant when you talk, I feel physical pain. and it gives me anxiety. It gives me anxiety and pain in my brain. Like, I know that people don't choose what voice they have, and I respect it. I respect it. But I like appreciating people with beautiful voices because it doesn't hurt me. You know, like how people say this person has a sweet voice or this person has a raspy voice? If they sing, or if they have a melodic way of speaking, my mind actually gives me a picture of the exact texture and taste, like the type of sweet or dessert or drink the voice is, in great detail. So when I hear someone sing, all of that happens. And sometimes I taste what their voice sounds like when they sing. So music is a multi-sensory experience for me. And maybe that's why I have great taste in music. That's why I have great taste in music. Then if I pay attention a little bit more, and it's a pure sound, if it's not too processed, then the different elements of the song separates in my mind, and I see it all. You see, when I listen like this, and when I pay attention, and if it's pure sounds, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's pure sounds, then my mind can separate it into various elements into these lines. So we have the lyrics on line 1, we have voice or voices, which goes like that, literally. We have the instruments separately below that, or like if it's created by FL Studio, then I can hear like the claps and stuff. And if I pick up what the instruments are, then my mind puts a picture of the instrument in front of the line. So all of this separates in my mind, and it moves across those panels that my mind has created as the song plays. And sometimes certain parts light up as the song plays. Especially the lyrics, because the words, when the words are being sung. Is that weird? That I can listen to music in multiple ways? I truly enjoy having a multi-sensory music experience when there's pure sounds. So it's weird, but I think it's weird, but I like it. Voice textures with Dr. Taylor. Like, I noticed the background vocals are so beautiful on some of Trey Songz songs, but it doesn't sound the same as Mr. Song's voice at all. So it's Dr. Taylor's voice. He has a strong, beautiful voice, and it's very unique to him. I don't think I've heard anyone with this before. It has a sweetness to it without being too sharp. So in terms of food, it's like Dr. Taylor's voice is like vanilla flavored thickened syrup that's not sharply sweetened. It's sweetened enough that you want to hear it more, but you still taste sweetness, pleasantness, and it's the best kind of syrup. It's not the diluted ones you get, but you still taste a little bit of molasses in the syrup because it still has strength and power to his voice. The texture makes you want to pay attention when he speaks or sings. And like that's the perfect description of his voice. It's beautiful, rich, sweet, and powerful. Who does Dr. Taylor's voice remind me of? I have not heard a voice like this before. Like with Dr. Taylor, I know he produces music in multiple genres, and I'll show you later. But the way he speaks, it's like I watch his Instagram sometimes, and the way he speaks, it's R&B. It's melodic. I think that's the word. It's R&B core. Mr. Songz. Okay, Mr. Song's voice. It's like warm, sweet milk bread with steam coming off of it because it's warm. And like at first I described it as heavy cotton candy that has just the perfect amount of sweetness, and it's not too sweet, as in it's not sickly sweet. It's not as sweet as cotton candy. It's just the perfect amount of sweetness, but it has heaviness because it's not unsubstantial. It's not too sharp either way. Already, you can see how complex his musicality is just from the voice alone. Like, and then I found out there was such a thing as warm, sweet milk bread that is still steaming, and that perfectly describes his voice. But the milk is condensed milk. So to me, his voice is delicious and substantial, and there's no roughness in the texture at all. So that makes his voice a pleasure to consume. It's light enough to listen over and over again, but it's substantial enough to not leave you hungry. Like, it's warm enough that it gives comfort, so you want to keep eating, but not too hot that it's uncomfortable and burns you. It's also very powerful and dynamic, and it can be loud, which I haven't heard from too many people, so it's definitely unique. And like my little brother tells me that people in the opera can do this, like be loud with great vocal ability and emotion. Now I have to bring in references, because if I don't see it in the writing, if I don't see it being recorded somewhere by somebody else who came before me, it doesn't carry weight to me. So if I didn't find this article by Tyler Lewis, which was written in 2009 in popmatters.com, that describes his voice, I would not be so confident to say this. So Tyler Lewis says, the article says, he possesses a piercing tenor and an instantly recognizable vocal presence, something his contemporaries, from Mario to Chris Brown to Neo, probably wish they had. And when he has material to match his voice, he is peerless. He's peerless. Later on, we'll get more into this article, and you'll see how much more Tyler Lewis commends his voice and musicality. This article confirms what I've been hearing this whole time. Like, if I did not find this article, I would have no evidence to validate what I hear. And it seems as if only Tyler Lewis and me, two people in the world, can hear this voice. Like, only two people in the world can hear this. Like, Tyler Lewis saw what his voice could do and how rare it is. And I see the same thing. I see the same thing. Can I be sentimental a little bit more? Like, maybe because I'm African, like I understand this. But the way Mr. Songz uses his voice and the sounds that his voice makes, even without the lyrics, the voice that he makes, the sounds that he makes with his voice, even without the lyrics, it's communicating something. The sound of his voice speaks its own language, even when there's no words. And you don't get this from musicians more than a handful of times in a lifetime. Glenn Jones is the only other musician who does this similar thing when he sings, which is one of the reasons why African people love Glenn Jones. Like, this is a funny fact. Like, I'm an OG Trey's angel, and when he actually wants to sing, it's almost ethereal. Like, he has an angelic voice. Do none of you hear that? You don't hear that? He can be expressive, emotionally dynamic, and dramatically powerful. And he also has great vocal control. He can be loud with his singing, which is rare. It's too rare for a musician. And like he's like the opera, but he has so much of clarity in his voice. It's not rough at all, because even opera singers do not have the same voice texture as him. They don't. Like he can sustain the sound for a while when he really sings, which is too rare. Because he says that whoop, whoop. He does that whoop, and it's like, wow, he can do that with his voice. Wow. Who does his voice remind me of? Donny Hathaway in certain instances, but not the texture, just the anatomy of the range and the way they use their voice. Like on the song You Had to Know, the way Donny Hathaway used his voice is similar to how Mr. Songz uses his voice sometimes. Like the way they can switch it up in a very smooth way on a song to emphasize certain lyrics. I hear the similarity anatomically. The other person who Mr. Song's voice reminds me of is Glenn Jones. They have a similar style of singing. Like the sound comes out of their mouth before the lyrics. So we get beautiful vocals in the songs. The flow of their voices, like the way their voices flow is similar because it's like flowing like air. And there's no grittiness or graininess. It's just delicious flowing air, effortless. The other person who Mr. Song's voice reminds me of is Marvin Gaye, because he can get his voice to sound like his. He can actually pull it off. The last person, Jordan G. Welch. Like, I know she's gospel, but the clarity of the voice and the clearness of the sound is similar. Like, their voices literally have no texture. Like, so their voices are in the same WhatsApp group in terms of having no rough texture and being loud and dynamic and ethereal. Do you see how unique his voice and musicality is already? Do you see how dynamic his voice is to be so similar to these other brilliant musicians? Do you see that? Writing styles. I told you I experience music in multiple ways, and every single element of a song speaks if it's not too processed, right? So I also have a fascination with lyrics, and I like reading musicians' lyrics and understanding how they write and how they use words in their music to express what they're trying to say to us. And I like trying to figure out the imagery and poetry and all the other things that are word related. It fascinates me because I have thug passion, I have nerd passion, I have intellectual thuggery. I'm kidding. I'm just a nerd. Let me tell you right now that I am commenting on fictional writing. I'm commenting on fictional lyrics, and this doesn't reflect any part of anyone's life or real life or personality or character. It's not reality. It's just commentary on how people write fictional lyrics in their music. Even when I say that they write from a place of realism or there's lots of realism in the writing, it's still fictional writing and creative writing. It has nothing to do with people's lives, and I hate salaciousness. So everything I'm commenting on is fictional. It is fictional writing, okay? It's my opinion and it's my viewpoint on the writing only. So there's subjectivity in addition to creative writing. There is no objectivity, and I can't believe I actually have to say this because the quality of humans is so low. Anyway, gratefully, Dr. Taylor and Mr. Songz write a lot of their own lyrics or they play a great role in the formation of lyrics for what they sing and across multiple genres, which is also a unique thing to them among all the other unique things about them. So we can analyze their writing styles, and I can talk a lot about their music because of this. Like, not a lot of big musicians write their own stuff, so for a lot of them you don't really know their inner voice. So that's why I also can't just be a fan of just anyone. Okay, I understand that this feels vulnerable and personal, but I'm commenting on fictional lyric writing, okay? And I love Dr. Taylor and I love Mr. Songz, okay? The way Dr. Taylor writes, it's like he has this kind of gentleness. It's like his writing hugs you. It's so sufficient that it makes you feel warm, and it fills your heart space with its sufficiency. Like, he has some of the most beautiful writing because he uses imagery, and it's usually like florals or classic romance scenes. And the way he writes, it's like almost a full sentence because every word is intentional and meaningful. It comes across in a way where you get this sense of innocence from his writing, and it is also emotional because it makes you feel bright and warm. It's almost like a poetic speech that nourishes you. I feel emotional because even on Black Roses, again, floral imagery, it was a painful song, and you feel the heartbreak from the writing. I'm not talking about the song, I'm talking about the writing. You feel the heartbreak, but there was sarcasm a little bit, more than hatefulness, which is surprising. There was no hatefulness. It was not razor cutting the person that hurt you in the fictional writing. And I don't understand how even on fictional writing, you don't want to hurt the person. Me personally, I would be angry in the writing. I would be raging in the writing. So with him, it's still innocent even in this context. And I don't understand how this can be. Like, which is what makes him so unique and a brilliant writer on top of all the other unique things about his musicality. So ultimately, he writes from a place of realism. And he uses imagery from nature and classic romantic scenes, which shows you his R&B greatness to the core of his musicality. And you do not find musicians who can write like this at all. Mr. Song's writing style. He seems to also write from a place of realism, mostly. And it's very odd. It's very strange for an R&B singer to write from a place of realism, mostly. But this is what makes him a brilliant rapper, too. Do you see how complex his musicality is? He's a brilliant rapper. He's very smart with the rap lyrics. And we can see that in the wordplay. Like the double meanings, being snarky in the raps, full of confidence in the statements that he makes in the raps, the storytelling. And sometimes he's very direct, which is really nice and honest. And it makes you feel like you're a part of this rap music experience, even though it's just a song. Like, rap seems natural and effortless to him. And I know he's the realest rapper. He's the realest rapper. Like, I obviously still listen to the raps. Because good quality rap that's funny, witty, with wordplay that makes you feel confident is in very, very short supply. So I'm there. Trigger mix, I'm there. Let me hold that beat, I'm there. Like, I don't think a lot of people know this, but he actually started off rapping as well as singing. And this also comes effortlessly to him. This is what adds to my inclination that he's a musical unicorn and his musicality is too complex. His musicality is too complex. His raps are mysterious sometimes, and the way he writes, sometimes with hidden meanings that you have to decipher or really think about, is really smart. And then to make it sound the way he does, it's excellent. Like Trigger Mix says a lot of the raps, let me hold that beat. Let me hold that beat mixtape. He can literally hold every beat and make it his own. No one can do this. No one can do this. Like, I don't know any other musician that can do this. His musicality is extremely rare. And I say this because when he does covers of songs, it's actually remakes. Because he has to sing it in the way he wants to sing it and not imitate anyone else's style of singing. Because no one else has this kind of voice and musicality that he can imitate accurately. That's how unique his voice and musicality is. This is why his musicality is so complex to understand and what makes him fascinating to study as a musician. Like, I'm trying to decode the richness of his musicality and it's not straightforward. It's very interesting to me, but it is complex to understand. So you have to pay attention to everything that I'm gonna say on this video. You know, one of the raps he says, I eat a lion's plate, I'm a carnivore, I said before. If you have health problems, you should try a carnivore diet. It's helping me stay alive and nourished. There's a lot of people on YouTube talking about it, so there's no shortage of information if you want to attack your health problems and be healthy and live a nourished life. I eat a lion's plate. I'm a carnivore. I said before. Mr. Songz and Dr. Taylor has, and Mr. Song's voice is something that no other musician has. No matter how many machines they use, no matter how much they manipulate their voices, they will never have this. And I'm not saying this because he's the example, and because they are the example and they are the role models. I'm saying this because it's musically true. It is musically true. Positionality. I did watch a video on YouTube from two gentlemen who were respectful, but it was clothed in salaciousness, and I don't follow garbage. But I did glean from the video, like the channel is called Viral Hip Hop News. But I gleaned from the video, and the example that the man gave was about Mr. Songz being in a position musically where he can reach older generations and the younger generation through his music. And the man said that he had, the man had a teenage child that he wished he could put him onto Mr. Song's music because he can speak to multiple generations. And let me read to you what they actually said. They said, the first man said that Trey Songz was carrying the torch for R&B and he could have been the one that led the resurgence of R&B, and he still can be. The second man said that Trey Songz R&B is much needed because he can bridge the gap between the older and younger demographic of people. Because he's cool enough to do it if he sounds authentically himself. There is a demographic of people who want that and we need it. End quote. So we all want original Trey Songz songs. The original Trey Songz sounds with connecting to us again. Speaking to our soul with the emotions that his voice gives in the music. And I'm going to give you all the solutions to how we're going to get there. Because my artist must be even more on top of the world. Even more. So even in their positionality, they are unique. On top of all the other unique things they have, musically. And do you see how in demand their music is by everyone? In my opinion, they are probably the last classic old school R&B superstars that can have an influence on younger people because of this positionality. Like after them, there will be no classic old school R&B singers who can reach young people. We will have the new R&B that's heavily machine generated and AI. And that's probably the only R&B that young people will know unless they diligently search for the classics, which is really sad. So what I'm saying is Dr. Taylor and Mr. Songz are the last hope of getting young people to know classic R&B and even soul music. So what I'm saying is if Mr. Songz and Dr. Taylor don't do this, there's no one else. Not a lot of new R&B encourages romance and gentleness towards women and fighting for your love and fighting for your place in the world. And that's really disappointing. But Dr. Taylor and Mr. Songz are very capable of capturing that in the music and to talk about human issues too, because they've done it before and I'm going to show you. And I also feel like we don't want rigidity in music anymore. We want fluidity. We want this humanness and relatability and humor, compassion, things that are globally relatable that make us feel part of Trey Songz' ecosystem again. Like connected as a global community of fans who enjoy true and authentic sounds. That's another advantage Trey Songz has. Like he built this global community because I'm sure the fans are coming from different continents. He built this audience with people like me, real people from the Strugg life. Like he built it from the ground up and fed us gorgeous music that even we in Africa are connected to. And not a lot of artists do that or openly say that they actually like Africa. Because he did seem to like Africa and want to connect with Africa and people from the bottom of the world like me. So in the music also, which is why we can't be fans of just anybody like this year. Which is why we just can't be fans of just anybody. We can't connect to other people. Not like this year. And I told you where I get my attitude from. Trigger. He be like, Shorty say she get an attitude from me. Trying to make the little girl see it's not easy being me. I could talk about music all day. I'm sorry.